With support from the Fullerton Foundation, Wofford students and professors have worked together on original research during the past 3 summers. They've tackled a range of topics in the humanities and have taken on numerous exciting projects in the sciences. In the following segment, we'll get a look at a study of red velvet ants by senior Samantha Hall and her professor, Dr. John Moeller. We'll also hear about Sarah Khalil's study of Egyptian immigrants to the United States.
Female velvet ants are what we're studying right now. We're studying the Daisymutila occidentalis, which are also called cow killers. And they make a noise by way of stridulation. Stridulation being they move 2 parts of their body together to make a sound. What we're doing is trying to physiologically dissect and figure out what's necessary and sufficient to create the sound. So that takes a lot of dissections of previously sacrificed animals. It takes looking at pictures from a scanning electron microscope, and the largest part takes making recordings of the sound. And after doing those recordings, we have a program on the computer, Raven 1.2. It's from Cornell University. It's from their ornithology and bioacoustics lab. And by using that program, we can look at the waveforms and the spectrograms and frequency of the movement and the sound.
We're interested in examining the sound, trying to correlate specific aspects of the sound with specific anatomical features. Now, some of this has already been published, a lot by a researcher at Clemson by the name of Don Manley, but there's still a lot of questions in terms of what aspects of the sound are produced by what part of the actual abdominal region of the organism.
We're open to whatever results show us, and they seem to be supporting our hypothesis, so that's always good.
You can number the segments of the gaster, which is the abdominal section that we're looking at. And the sound is created by 2 of these segments actually rubbing against each other. Segment 2 and segment 3 appear to be primarily responsible for most of the sound, but that wasn't clearly established in the literature. And we were able to show that that set of segments is actually sufficient and necessary for producing that particular sound. The idea is that it's a way of giving a warning to other potential predators that may look upon these small little organisms as prey items. Females and males will actually stridulate when they're mating, and that's what we're also interested in, is what are the other situations that may elicit this particular behavior.
I've been offered the chance to work with professors that I have in classes, some that I haven't had in classes. I get to interface with other disciplines and talk to them about what I'm working on. And just the other day I had a conversation with the art history major about the difference between pH and titration, and that doesn't happen too much. I think that since I had the opportunity to do independent research with an advisor, which is just like what I'll be doing in the next 4 years in grad school, it's good practice, but it's a good thing for me to do, to know that this is really what I'd like to do later in life. And also just the chance to get money from the Fullerton Foundation and them supporting us and really supporting the research that we're doing, giving us the chance to do it.
This type of program certainly would benefit from the interaction with our colleagues, but in terms of science, normally this type of researcher at this level, you would often have to basically put out a proposal for a grant that may take a year or more or 2 before it gets funded, if it gets funded at all. With this type of program, we basically can jump right into the science and focus on answering some of these important questions.
I was born in Egypt. I came when my parents came and brought me when I was 2 years old. So my sister was 6. She remembers more of Egypt than I do. But I don't have a lot of attachment to Egypt. But through my parents and my family, that's definitely a unique aspect of our lives, and culture is brought, on a daily basis in our family. So I really wanted to investigate that and explore it. So that's what I did with the community of scholars that gave me the opportunity. It was basically about how Egyptian immigrants went through trials and struggles to adapt to America, which is something that they did not consider at all when thinking about the transition to America. People think of America as the land of opportunities, and so that didn't even cross their mind that there might be a little struggle with the transition. But my family moved to America in 1990, so I was only 2 years old when I came. But just seeing them trying to adapt and go through just American life and be a part of that melting pot in America, I just thought that was a really cool story. I do attend 2 Coptic Orthodox churches in South Carolina. There's one in Myrtle Beach and one in Malden, which isn't far away from Wofford at all, so I made a lot of trips to the Malden Coptic Orthodox Church, where I tapped into that resource and tried to talk to people and ask them, exactly how was it for them to adapt to America, and it was really useful, and those connections helped me out a lot. I think they did open up, and they really gave me what I needed to know. And after I stated my purpose, that I'm from Wofford College, I'm just trying to understand the trends in Egyptian immigration. They really were willing to, let me be intimate with them and for them to exchange stories with me about their adaptation. They were all really well-educated people in Egypt. Education is enforced to number one. But all of them thought that when I come to America, I will still be in the same level of work. My parents came as engineers, but when they came here, they had to definitely adjust. I had relatives that were doctors or nurses, and when they come to America, they have to kind of reestablish themselves because they can't find work in that workplace immediately. I really love science, and I love the biology program here at Wofford. It's actually one of the things that brought me to Wofford. I didn't know about the community of scholars when I came here, but that was just a benefit looking into the programs that Wofford offers. So when I saw the community of scholars, I was like, well, I've been taking a lot of labs lately, and maybe I'd like to do something else for a little bit. And then that's when I looked into the Egyptian immigration project. But biology major, that's what I am.
So the situation is different for the students in the community of scholars because, we use the term fellows. They're research fellows. And so we treat them as faculty, as peers. And we respect their creativity, their ideas, the work that they do. And actually, we become friends and colleagues. We work closely together, especially those in the scientists who spend hours and hours and hours working with laboratory rats or with ants. So you get close to these students in a way that's not usually possible at other institutions. People are so busy, and heads of labs have some time to devote to individuals, but this way it's really nice to have prolonged interactions where students come up with the ideas. So that's the beauty of a community of scholars, as opposed to an association of recluses, people working quietly in their offices and not really getting out much and not communicating. A community of scholars, you can talk about what your project you're working on. Students talk freely about what they're doing, and they give each other ideas, and that makes everybody more productive.
So we got to spend a lot of time together and talk about our projects together, which was really great because you can bounce ideas off each other. So while I might be doing humanities and immigration, somebody else might be talking to me about science, and you're like, well, that's cool, I don't really understand that. And then through that just conversation, a question might be brought to surface that I was like, oh, well, I never thought about that. Maybe I should read into that or something. So it's really cool to bring people from different disciplines and put them together and see what happens.